Hi, everybody. I am Kevin Ioli here in Las Vegas for Yahoo Sports. And my next guest really has a unique distinction because I think I may have found the only fighter on planet Earth coming to you from New Zealand who has been in the ring with both Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. 14-0 heavyweight Junior Fa. How are you, Junior?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing awesome. It's great to get a chance to talk to you. For people who don't know, you're 14-0 with 8 knockouts. You're promoted by DiBella Entertainment here in the United States. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's up next for you, and where you've been.
Yes, I'm a pro boxer based in New Zealand. Probably doing most of my fights in the States. Plans going forward is just to keep myself busy with the fights and training and I just need to continue to continue to impress, and then just hopefully work my way up the ladder slowly.
I have been covering boxing for a long, long time, and I know New Zealand's always had some good boxers. David Tua was a lot of fun when he came around. I know he wasn't native New Zealand like you are, but New Zealand was really excited about him. You're a guy that might have a chance to cause some excitement, though. You got some big wins on your record. Big guy. You fit in there with the Anthony Joshuas and the Joe Parkers. What's your timeline like? When do you think we'll start seeing you fighting the top 10, top 12 type kind of people?
Hopefully by maybe the end of next year.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I continue to impress, in a perfect world, I would say probably by the end of next year, probably the following year after that.
All right, well, good. So 2019, keep an eye out for Junior. So I wanted to talk to you, Junior, because of your experience. You actually fought Parker. You didn't spar with him. You fought him. You were 2-2 in competitions with him. You also sparred a little bit with Anthony Joshua 2011, 2012. He went on to win the super heavyweight gold medal at the Olympics in London. Let's talk first about your experience with Parker. From watching him, he seems like a pretty good, quick fighter. A lot of athleticism. What was your take? Break down Joe Parker.
Parker, very, very snappy jab. That was the first thing I noticed when I first watched him. I know that he has a very snappy jab, uses it well, and he always keeps it snappy, which is quite hard to counter when the person always keeps their jab very snappy. He is a hard, snappy puncher as well. Not too heavy, but snappy. And he's a combination puncher, which basically is a problem for basically any type of fighter, really. So that was basically his main tools back in the day. I see him as pretty much the same fighter, better conditioned. He can set up his punches a lot better now too. But I say in a basket, Parker is a very snappy, fast combination puncher.
And just one or two other questions about Joe before we get to Anthony. It seemed to me like he beat Ruiz and he was kind of on the ascent, and it seemed like he's flattened out to me. Like I haven't been too impressed with his last couple fights. The Huey Fury fight was his most recent fight. Did you get a chance to see him? And do you feel like he kind of has leveled off a little bit?
To be fair, yes. Ever since probably since the Ruiz fight, he has kind of dropped a bit. I don't know if that's because he's not training as hard, or maybe he got injured or something. I don't know. It could be something to do with the elbows. There we just most recently
had elbow surgery last year.
Yeah. So I don't know what the excuse was, but he definitely has kind of flattened out in his past few outings. So hopefully on Saturday, he'll be able to put on the best performance.
How big would that be in New Zealand if he comes home with 3 of the 4 heavyweight title belts?
It'll be a big, big deal here. No one has done that from around here, man. He is from a very small, how would you say, like a really small ghetto area, like, so, like, if he came back here with those belts, it'll be such a big deal. They probably wouldn't realize the big significance of it, because New Zealand, as you know, isn't so much a boxing country, so they don't really grasp the full like extent of his journey so far. They basically know it's a big deal, but they don't probably know as they probably won't appreciate it as a country like Great Britain, or like the States, where you guys know that boxing is a big deal. But like still, like I think if he comes back home with the belt, it'll be a big party.
I remember when the Tua man fought. I mean, it was incredible. So many New Zealanders came here, and it was like a big party for them. It was a lot of fun. And David, when he walked in the ring that night, I know you were a little boy. I don't know if you happened to see that fight when he fought Lennox. He walked in the ring, he got up on the ring apron, and he raised his fist in the air, and the place erupted. And had he won, I mean, that place was 1,000% for David Tua. And unfortunately, Lennox took care of business. But anyways, enough on that. Let's get to Anthony Joshua. Now, Joshua doesn't have a lot of experience. Even now, 20-0 as a pro, when he won the super heavyweight gold medal, he was only boxing for about 3-4 years. So you sparred him in his early days. But what do you remember from him? He's noted now as a hard puncher. How would you break Anthony down from what you remember?
So when I first sparred him, that was in 2010 for a few months. And to this day, he is probably the hardest puncher that I've been in the ring with.
Wow.
Sparring or fighting, he basically has phenomenal power. He has great snap in his punches, and he carries weight behind it as well. So I think that'll come into play on Saturday as well. He is going to be carrying a lot of power. And also for a guy with his experience, especially at the time when I sparred him, he carried himself very well in the ring. He didn't really shy away from basically anything that I did, because I was much experienced than he was back in those days, and he carried himself very well. So I'd say he's a fast learner. He punches very hard. He hides his punches very well too, because I know some boxers have a tendency of kind of showing their punch before they throw it, as in I don't know, they might twitch their shoulder, or they might bring up their elbow a bit. Joshua's very good at hiding his punch, so I think that might come into play as well. So he's a hard puncher, great mindset, and he hides his punches very well. And another thing, they train very hard over there. Hard trainers over there.
Yeah, Team GB in the Olympics has always been one of the better conditioned teams, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
Very hard trainers.
I think his jab is really good, and I thought that was a big punch for him in the Klitschko fight. Did you feel like his jab was that thudding hard jab too? Did he carry power in that?
Definitely did. I know. Even though I was just sparring, when I blocked his punch, that punch, even though I blocked it, it shifted me back. Usually punches shouldn't shift you back, especially in sparring. They don't really shift you back, but his punches did. So yeah, great power there.
How do you break down the fight? What does Joe have to do to win? What does Anthony have to do to win, in your opinion?
I think for Anthony, I think that he needs to possibly control his emotions and just basically keep it on the outside. I know Parker can basically take a punch. So I think for Joshua to win, he will just have to break him down and kind of know and basically expect that he's not going to drop him with a single punch. And the way that I've seen him train for this fight, he looks a lot leaner and he looks a lot lighter on his feet. So I think they're planning on a outside boxing type of plan, which I think is great. I know that'll work well against a boxer like Parker. So as long as they can do that and basically control his emotions, because in the weigh-ins he seems a bit startled with Parker. I don't know if you've kind of seen it, but he looks a bit angry when he stares down at Parker. I don't know. They might
trying to intimidate him a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but you shouldn't really let that kind of bother you. So for him, I think he just needs a box from range, which is the outside. and control his emotions. I feel Parker, what he needs to do was just to apply the pressure and just to keep on pressuring Joshua, and then possibly take him out in the later rounds. Winning against, winning against Joshua on points in Great Britain is probably not a good plan, because I don't think you can. But, I think a game plan for Parker is just to apply pressure and then take him out in the later rounds when he tires.
You have to hit him with punches he doesn't see coming, I would take it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Right hook is a good punch for Parker. He's used that in the past. I think that'll be probably one of his key punches, is his right hook and his left hook.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate it, Junior. When will we see you fight again? What's up on your schedule?
So right now we don't have really anything booked in just yet. We just hopefully can get something in at the end of May or possibly June. And then hopefully fight possibly another 3-4 times this year. Probably most of them will be in the States.
Now, I know you have one of the best promoters out there in Lou DiBella. We're big fans of Lou over here. I want to tell you this. When you get into a big fight, just finish it early, get it over, because Lou gets a little panicky at ringside, and you might give him a freaking heart attack or something if you make it a long back-and-forth battle.
Yeah, I think I gave him a heart attack on that last fight. He was, I don't know, man, he was kind of like, pulling off his hair. I don't know if he's got any hair in his head, but I think I was stressing out of it.
No doubt. Well, Junior, we appreciate you very much. Enjoy the fight on Saturday, and best of luck in your career.
Thank you so much.